Okay, so after your workouts and your rides, you know you're hungry and you want to go eat a couple of cheeseburgers, which is okay sometimes. In the middle of your ride, sometimes you want to eat. I got something for you here. Here's my recipe. Protein bars. They're really good. I'm going to show you how to make them right now. I'm going to go through the list of ingredients real quick. 2 cups of oat bran, 2 cups of oatmeal, 1 cup of whole wheat flour, 6 egg whites, 1 cup of milk, 1.5 cups of honey, 2 cups of protein powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I use a Kroger brand. Oat bran is cheap. I think it's $1.50 for a box. You need 2 cups. There's about 3 cups in here. Oatmeal, just your standard Quaker Oats. Not the fast oatmeal stuff. Standard oatmeal. I use 2% milk. You can use skim milk, you can use whole milk. I don't care. Doesn't matter either way. If you use whole milk, it'll be a few more calories. Whole wheat flour, not regular flour, not self-rising flour. Ground cinnamon, cinnamon powder, salt, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Baking powder. Use a lot of Kroger brand stuff because it's cheaper. Teaspoon of that. Probably the most expensive part is the honey. That's about 2 cups right there. We're going to use 1.5 cups of honey. This is the protein powder that I use. I get this big bag at Sam's for $26, I think. So it's a little cheaper than buying the cans of stuff. First thing you're going to do, take all of the dry ingredients, put it in a bowl, mix it up. You can use a spoon, you can use a mixer, doesn't matter. I'll mix it on slow. Only takes about 30 seconds or a minute, give or take. While it's doing its thing, take all the liquids and put it in here. The milk, the egg whites, the honey, all that goes in here. Again, kind of just mix the honey and the egg whites up. No egg yolks, just egg whites. 6 of them. That's done. Once the dry stuff is mixed up, once the wet stuff is mixed up, we're going to put them together, blend it together with the blender here. You can use a hand blender, you can use one of these. This is what I got, this is what I use. Dry stuff, liquid. Wet stuff. Make sure you get all that gooey stuff out of there. Let it do its thing, man. You're gonna let it mix for about a minute, maybe a little bit more than a minute. So it's all gooey. Low speed's fine, that's all you need. That's good. While you're doing all the mixing and stuff, you're gonna preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I use a pan like this. This is one of those, I don't know, ceramic pans, whatever. You can use a metal pan, a glass pan, one of these pans. Doesn't matter, okay? Just needs to be a thin pan, not like a big thick cake pan. If a big thick cake pan's all you got, that's cool, okay? But it needs to be big like this, so that when you pour it, it comes out about that thick while it's in the pan, because when it cooks, it's gonna rise up to about that thick. So if you pour it into a cake pan that's that thick, and you pour it that deep, it's going to rise up to like that deep, and you're not going to be able to eat them. I'm going to take my pan, I'm going to spray it down with some canola oil, or Kroger brand canola oil, or Pam, or whatever you got. Now I'm going to pour this into the pan. That's about what it ought to look like. Mmm, yummy. It's much better when it's cooked, I promise. Kind of level it all out. Gravity will kind of do it for you. Shake the little thing around. Doesn't matter how you do it. let it get good and even all over before you put it in the oven. Now that my oven is preheated, see, that's how we like for it to look, right around the edges. You know, kind of crispy and darker brown right around the edges and nice and firm there on top. It's still kind of warm. We're going to let it cool before we cut it up. Now that it's like cool, kind of, it's still a little bit warm, but it's not so hot that you can't touch it or the pan, okay? We're going to just kind of dump it out right here, just like that. Sometimes it takes a little shaking to get it out of there, but that's what it ought to look like right there. My favorite way to cut it up, pizza cutter. I'm going to cut this into 12 pieces. There you go. Another thing I like to do is chop off these crunchy little edges. I'm not a big fan of those crunchy edges, but if you want to leave them on there, you're more than welcome to leave them on there. I don't care. Here's one of the bars. You get 12 of these in this recipe. Each one has 400 calories, 5 grams of fat, 78 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fiber. Fiber is always good for you. Remember, your mom told you that. And 27 grams of protein. So, it's a good balanced bar. It's a little dry, so I recommend you make sure you have plenty of water or milk when you eat one. Drink lots of water, though. Water is always good for you. Enjoy.